Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's do this, guys. Let's go.
And let's go indeed. So we'll start out right away, get right into it. First, Jeff, we don't get a chance to talk that much. How's your week been? How have you been?
Thank you, man. Thanks for asking. It's been crazy as always. It's busy. Adding this new building, this new location that I have has brought a lot of new opportunities. So, about to have had several meetings. About to start a wrestling program within my school. About to start just more things, to bring in more of my community into my area. And so really pretty cool. Just a lot of opportunities going on with that. So meetings like 2 or 3 times a week on new opportunities on how to be involved more with my community and the growth. And I went to a tournament over the weekend, so that was fun too.
How'd that go down?
That was fun. Judge during the day, I only had one student that went, so I only had to worry about, coaching one person. And then I did some fighting, so that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And as I was sharing with you before, it was old school. It was no time limit, 1st to 7. Everything.
Kicks to the groin.
No kicks to the groin, but I did. I did kick the dude in the groin. So sorry, Ryan.
No, you did not.
I did, man. I did.
Did you do it like he was kicking and you went to kick at the same time?
So like,
I would hate you if that happened.
Thinking back at it, like he's taller than me, of course, like everybody. He kicked me in the arm, and it was almost like a push button. He kicked me in the arm, and my leg just magically just went straight out, and yeah, it was bad. It was one of those things.
Some people are just magnets for getting kicked in the groin, though.
It's true. And
I think Jamie Cravens and Mallory Woods maybe get kicked in the groin more than anybody I know. But
that's true. Everything's 1 point, so it was a long fight. It was like a 4.5 minute fight. So that was for the overall grand. That was a lot of fun. And then I went and did the forms grand, which is weird that we fought before we did forms, but just the way it was. So just trying to get everything done. Got to see, it was cool to watch the grappling tournament they had before. And
so it was like a catch-all type of martial arts.
Yeah. I mean, he was just trying different things, and I was excited to be there. And especially for me, it was good because as I'm going to start this wrestling club soon, and see about possibly getting into running some wrestling tournaments as well. So pretty cool.
That's cool.
So always trying to expand, man. So
yeah.
How about you, my friend?
So this is like this is a strange feeling for me. Like my body knows almost like what time of year it is. Get that out of here. My body knows what time of year it is. My body knows that this is October. And October is the greatest sports month of the year. It really is.
It really is.
Every sport is happening right now.
Right.
Every single one of them.
Starting or ending. It's so cool. You're right.
And I'm so used to right now, this is the Diamond Nationals, but it's later. So I'm just so used to this is it. This is the greatest month of athletic ability.
Right.
Because we're heavily into the NFL season, the MLB playoffs. I was watching that last night.
Now.
Yeah. And then hockey's already been going on.
College.
Now I'm jacked about the NBA. Don't mention college. You know how I feel about the institution of college athletics. Don't even go there with me.
I love college football. So
I love the athletes. I hate the institution of the athletic program. But
yes.
Anyway, so it's just like right now. It's like I'm like a little tossed. But then I think about it like, okay, normally it's the Diamonds, and I associate 2 things now with the Diamonds. It's the Diamonds, and it's Ross Levine's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that's shout out.
Shout out.
All right. Turbo. Happy birthday, Turbo.
Yeah, man. The man.
And you know what I love about after the Diamonds, Ross just kind of does a thing. He's celebrates in some way. I think one year he got Nick Schneider, who's from Minnesota. He's a phenomenal DJ. Orchestrated like a party bus. We're all going to this place to do this thing. And I didn't jump on the bus, but his favorite cake is my favorite cake, and it's a Dairy Queen ice cream cake.
That's the best. It's my favorite.
It is the best. Is there anything better? No,
no,
don't answer that. That's rhetorical.
Yeah. People that want to say this, no, it's the best.
Yeah. So happy birthday, Turbo. Hope you're killing it in training. I know you're training right now. All right. Doesn't matter when you listen to this, you're training because that's just what you do. And we're proud of you.
The man.
But let's get into our first topic. We're going to talk about injuries in sport karate.
There we go.
And of that, there's a plethora of them and stories of them, things that have been done, will be done, what we think should be done about them or not done about them.
Right.
What are some thoughts that you have on that?
So, like, when we say this, do you mean like injuries that happen during like a competition?
Yeah.
Or maybe preparation or what?
When I say injuries in sport karate, what came to your mind?
I think of ankles, but that's me. Ankle injuries for me has always been the thing. And I think that happens probably more than most of them. Because it's just real easy, you know, and you see it more in forms and fighting compared to the other ones, you know.
Forms, I got injured more doing forms than I did doing fighting.
Correct. And there's a lot. Same. And there's a lot of people that don't really realize that, you know. The weirdest thing ever is when someone gets injured during a form at a tournament. Because usually, honestly, it happens during training. Most of the time it does. But, you know, when Matt went down.
I'm going to knock on wood.
Yeah.
I never got injured with forms during training.
Oh, all right.
But I've been injured a couple times in competition with forms.
Man, I've been injured. Matt Emming, when he tore his knee up, I think it was at Quebec, in the middle of the division. It was bad, man. Real bad. I was not there for that. I heard about it. And, yeah, just everyone said it was just rough to see.
I did, but sometimes it was the surface that we were on. So, like, I stretched and tore my PCL in my right knee, right? At the 2001 New England Open.
Okay.
Now, at that tournament, there was just a few other tournaments that were like that, like the Compete Nationals, it was just concrete.
But carpet on top. Is that what you're talking about?
Just this little thing, like a magic carpet ride. Get out of here, man. It's still just concrete. That's really all we're on. You're just making us think.
I know. All right. Yeah, exactly.
So the last move of my form, I did a side swipe, and I landed. And as soon as I hit the ground, anybody who had two arms and two legs and could see knew I was not okay. And there was nothing else left to do, and I couldn't quite get up. And I was like frozen. I couldn't get up, and I mustered my way to get up, and that was it. And I remember I was trying to figure out, because the opposite of what you were talking about, what happened this weekend, I was trying to figure out, all right, how am I going to fight? I'm going to fight. Hey, I'm injured, but it's no big deal. I'm going to fight. And people had to talk me out of it. They're like, you're not right. And it turned out, I tore my PCL, my posterior cruciate ligament. So, and that was just because of the surface I was on at the time. People have done that, you know, whether it's be gym floor and you know, you have a
hockey
fracture.
Rinks. Hockey rinks were the worst, man.
What did you just say?
Hockey rinks. New England Open, when I was a kid, when I was going from 95 to 97, was in a hockey rink. Yeah. You didn't know that, man. And so all of us had to walk around with socks on or shoes on. It was freezing because they just pull the ice off, and then there's concrete. You're not on the ice. I mean, but it's concrete, and it's cold, man. It's freezing. Somehow I did well at that tournament. I'm not sure how, but I made the stage several times at that event. And that was probably one of my first flyers I was ever on. But, man. And Now, one of the things that I always had issues with, so that's a whole nother thing. We could get into services and all that stuff. But
What?
one of the first times I used to hate growing up, it was always on concrete, right? And so they would, you know how concrete is. It's not just one whole sheet of concrete. It's, you know, and
There's
so you have
expansion joints.
Yeah. So there's the joint, right? And then your division would always be on that. Several times my toe would get stuck in the middle of it or get cut, sliced open, stuff like that. I've had injuries like that that were just weird. You know what I mean? That shouldn't have happened.
Or you shouldn't even have been subjected to have to try to endure that.
Correct. And one time, a nail went through my foot on stage.
What?
Yeah, at Dixieland Nationals 2001. Yeah, we were on stage and there was a nail sticking through the stage and it went through my foot. Yeah.
You are a literal Iron Man.
I was the Iron, yeah.
Next thing you're going to tell me, like, yeah, I was doing my form and on tar and someone was shooting a pellet gun at me.
No, I did have glass in my foot one time and was competing. Yeah. I had it stuck in my foot for a month and didn't know it. And competed at a tournament in Tennessee.
Don't anybody question Jeff Doss's toughness.
I'm doing my form, and all of a sudden, my foot is just bleeding. There's blood all over the place. Like, what is wrong with you?
It's because you were calloused. You couldn't feel it.
It was crazy, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
but
surface
is a real thing.
It's a whole nother thing, and that is one that really does cause issues. So let me get into someone that we know very well, Junior Salientes.
Okay.
And I'm sure he hates hearing about this, but 2 years in a row at the same tournament because of the same mats, he tweaked his knee and messed his knee up and was out. I don't know if it was 2 years in a row, but it was at the same tournament on the same mats. And instead of using the bigger mats, they used kind of the smaller ones. You know,
to make a smaller ring.
No. It was the same type ring, but half the size. We're talking about the 2 foot ones instead of the 4 foot mats. Do you understand?
So then it ended up to be a smaller ring.
No, you just added more.
Oh, they just added more.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right,
what I'm saying though is that they're smaller, they're thinner, and they break a lot easier, away, right? Yeah. So they're like the ones you see in like preschools and elementary schools and stuff.
Like the one I have my 2-year-old daughter play on.
Right. That's what happened. So, and both times he went down, and so there's a lot of issues like that with surface and things like that, man, that people don't realize. I've been somewhere before where the ceiling had like windows in it, right? And the sun was right in your eye.
Yeah, I've seen that stuff, like the skylights.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. So we have a real different sport than anyone else because the venue is never the same, you know? So
that's true, but it's also the culture of what we do.
Yeah.
Like before we even get there, we're conditioned to we endure, we persevere, and we do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter the circumstances.
Nope.
We don't make excuses.
That's right.
You just go.
Yep.
But what happens when when that's the case is that makes you a victim when you don't need to be. And it empowers the person who's being negligent to they can just do that whenever they want, because the culture of what we do is that, nope, you don't make excuses, you persevere, you keep going anyway. That's not the reason you lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's
not okay.
No. I think that's why, like, if you prepare someone in advance, knowing the surface, that's something different. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, correct.
Kind of my idea I shared with you.
Yeah.
Earlier, we'll get in that some other time, but that's gonna be fun.
Now, as far as like injuries, like fighting injuries,
okay,
there's been some crazy ones though. Like, I mean, broken noses, bloodied. Obviously, that happens all the time.
I'm on number 11. So.
Mine's too much to count.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like real. It doesn't even bleed anymore. It just moves. All right.
I'm a bleeder, man. I can't help it.
I think what the last Irish Open I was at, there's this dude from Northern Ireland, Liam McLaughlin. Dude can punch. I
Mm-hmm.
should have been the dude that didn't get punched, but he hit me, and I took a selfie at one point that weekend. I did not share that selfie because my nose was on the other side of my face because he hit me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been some interesting ones like that, but I mean, like some bad ones. Yeah, I've seen people get carried out in stretchers, and so much of that, some can be like the culture. But what's like a bad one that you've seen fighting?
Man, I'm gonna have to really think about that one. Just some of the knockouts that like where people didn't move for a long time. That was scary, you know. Like San Antonio, Yellow Rose. I don't remember. It was the last time I was there. It was I think we might have talked about this. Charlie Davison versus Willie Hicks. Willie Hicks does a jump spin back kick in the air and hits Charlie right in the nose.
You mentioned that.
Knocks him out, and Charlie fell on top of Willie. And so both
Yeah.
were out, right? Because Charlie's a huge guy.
Actually, I
Landed
don't
on.
think it was his nose. It wasn't his nose.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was his orbital bone.
Right. That's what it was. Yeah, his orbital bone. So he dropped him, and I mean, we're talking about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe longer than that. And Willie kind of
I think it was later. It was longer.
Willie like got up maybe 5 minutes later. You know, and I think one of the scariest part was like Regina's reaction because she squealed like, and I've never heard her do that, like, oh my god, you know, like crazy. It was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, just one of those things. I don't think it was the last one because the next year another thing happened like that where at the same tournament, I think it was Ryan and Chance were fighting and they go off the stage and then they end up hitting someone in the audience and then ended up like running over one of the wives of somebody and she was hurt. She had to get like carted out. Just stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah, there's been. I mean, we've had some stuff like that last one that what you were just mentioning. So that happened. That happened to me. I was the guy hitting someone else. Jason Grenier and I were fighting each other at the AK Warrior Cup in 2014. We fought each other for like a heavyweight grand, and he beat me by like 1 or 2. Right? He was leading the whole time. I just couldn't catch him. Congratulations, he beat me. The next year, we fight each other first round. I beat him, and the very specific strategy. So the following year, I'm ready to employ that same strategy. Jason Grenier might be one of the more entertaining people to watch a tournament. In the middle of the match, he looks at me and just shakes his head. No. I'm like, okay, all right. You've informed me that that's not going to work now.
Oh, wow.
But he has a very good sidekick. He sidekicked me and I blocked it, but he hit me so hard that he knocked me out. I wasn't prepared for how hard he was going to hit me. So I'm guarding, really good guard, ready for a sidekick. And he turns me, and there is an elderly woman sitting in a chair behind me at the edge of the ring.
God. And
he hits me, and I turn, and in a fighting stance position, punched her in the side of the head.
Oh, my God.
I'm off. I'm not even have feet on the ground. What am I supposed to do? All right. I'm over here trying to protect myself, and now she's on the ground. I'm on the ground. We're not even near each other. Everything's chaotic. Yeah, but probably the worst. That's not even close to the worst one. It's actually closer to what you were talking about with Charlie. So Hamid Feruzzi was involved in the most gruesome one ever.
Well, yeah. That one's pretty bad.
You know what I'm talking about?
Damon.
Nope.
You're not talking about that one? Okay.
That ain't it. So,
all right.
It was a 2004 Diamonds. Okay. This was the first super fight. So, Hamid is fighting first round, and he fights Jack Felton. Uh-huh. You know, Hamid hadn't really won anything at this moment, right? Right. And Jack Felton is very much Jack Felton. Hamid wins that match.
Yeah.
And we scratch our heads like, oh, right? Okay.
Yeah, I
let's
remember
go.
watching that fight. Yeah, that's right.
Now, at that
Now I
point,
remember.
he's fighting, and I always get his name wrong. Um, but he's fighting this Canadian fighter who's like a knockout artist. It wasn't Bernard Paquette. It wasn't Rene Perrault, but I forget his name. But Hamid's fighting him, and Hamid was maybe 140 pounds, and I don't think he was at that time.
How big was the guy? Was he a heavyweight?
Oh yeah, he was at
Uh,
least 215.
Emmanuel St. John or Emmanuel?
Nope.
No, it wasn't him.
I know that it wasn't him. So anyway, and he was good. I think he might have been from Trevor School. I'm not sure.
It wasn't David, was it? No.
No.
Right.
That's easy
anyways.
For me to know.
We'll go ahead.
So Hamid's falling back, and Hamid just throws a legit textbook hook kick, but it kicks him, hits him in the orbital bone. And I watched it on stage, and his eye just falls.
Oh.
Because there's nothing keeping his eye up anymore.
Right.
So his eye just starts to fall.
Oh.
And we all see it, but Charlie Lee's the center. Charlie Lee doesn't notice it. So Charlie just comes back, awards the points, and he's just kind of moving off to the side, trying to figure out what's happened to his face. Charlie says, go. So Hamid does what he's been instructed and trained to do. He takes off. And he's trying to hit him. But luckily for him, he just kind of like cowered and went to the ground. Like cowered, but just kind of went to the ground.
Yeah.
And nothing really bad happened. And a bunch of people jumped in and were like, no, this match is definitely over.
Yeah.
And he had to go to the hospital like that moment. But here's the kicker. So I heard that like if you're from Canada and you're going to the U.S. to compete in a competition, you just have to pay like an extra like $25 for like insurance, and that'll just transfer over. So he didn't do it, and it ended up costing him like $65,000 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, because you have to have surgery immediately.
Yeah.
Right? It was that bad because otherwise he could lose his eye. So that's by far the most gruesome I've seen. But we there's been stuff all the time. I mean, like some people know this about me. Like, I don't have all my fingers that work. Right? This finger don't work. Right? And this is simple. This is just I just had my hands open. All right? Didn't have closed finger gloves, which we'll talk about. All right? Had Macho Warrior hand pads. Someone just kicked at my fingertips. No big deal. After the match, my finger don't look the same.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Maybe go to the doctor.
So
maybe
you
get it looked at. I didn't do that. Yeah.
All right. So you just jarred my memory with that. Yeah. So now I remember. It was
remember the match I'm talking about.
Yes, it was one of Renee's students, because I remember Renee and I were rooming together that year, and he had to like randomly go to the hospital every like certain time and had to.
Oh yeah, that was it.
And they were there like a couple of days after and everything. I mean, it was pretty rough, and he was kind of like, yeah, he's kind of stuck here because I don't know what we're gonna do about it. So yeah, I remember that now.
That sucked.
That sucks. Honestly, some of the worst injuries I've seen, which I guess makes sense, were breaking injuries. Breaking bricks. Yeah, tournaments. Oh my God, dude.
See, I don't.
Just some nasty
I'm not
stuff.
very skilled in the breaking department.
Right.
And this, it's because I really don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
Now, there are some people that are extremely talented, and I just have to look at that and go, that's freaking cool. So, but it's just crazy to me to understand. Like, you could really hurt yourself. And what was going to be the thing with breaking that I don't understand is the only thing that can be great about the end result of breaking is you were not the thing that got broken.
Right.
I don't get it.
There's some nuts people. All right, so there's a.
Tell me what happened.
There's a big school down in North Carolina that has it, right? And I mean, they've won a bunch of breaking titles and travel and do all this and that. But so the main coach of it, right? He had a friend that just was like, you know what? I think I can do this. and
No.
he's not a martial artist.
No.
And he still goes to tournaments and competes, but like his technique is so bad that like the judges don't want to like let him win. But I've judged before. All right, so you put the slab like this, right? He accidentally turned it the other way on its side and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to punch it this way." I'm like, "No, no,
That's ridiculous.
no." I've like had to tell him that no, he's not going to do that. It's like, and he did it. His hand just blew up, just broke all of it in his hand. Then he goes the next tournament, and a board, like one of the long ones, he did a whole board, but turned it, and he tried to break it against the grain with his shin. He did it.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, in NBL, it's like if you miss it twice, you can't do it anymore, or you're DQ'd. So they just say, all right, you go into the next one, which is pretty much a safety thing, right? Okay,
yeah, that's smart.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
so you go one, and you just hear ding, like then you hear another one, boom. His shin just completely just knotted up, like
looked like an allergic reaction.
Right, but it was like I think you got like almost. I didn't know you could get a hematoma on your shin like that, but yeah, it was that bad. Like
what?
It was insane. Yeah, so this guy does, and he'll come to me and be like, Jeff, I'm gonna hang cinder blocks from the ceiling, and I'm gonna jab him, and I'm like, nah, dude, you're not gonna do that. Like you're crazy. Like so, there's a lot of people like that do crazy stuff.
Hey man.
Yeah, and then like one of my friends did try to break like. I think he had 20 boards, and he tried to break all of them over his head in a row, like 1, 2, 3, and after like the fifth one, dud, pull another one, dud, break. Like he did that many, and this was in Super Grands 2001 in Hollywood, and he was just kind of like,
Well, yeah, he was freaking concussed.
He was done.
You might as well just stand there and let someone else just jab you in the forehead. That would be safer. That would be safer.
So he goes,
stay here. Don't move. Let me punch you.
Right. So he goes to the emergency room. Him and his instructor in their red, white, and blue gis, and for like a day. So breaking people, do some crazy stuff, have some crazy injuries.
Yeah. People should. Hey, other people comment and send us some input. What are some of your injury experiences that you've seen at tournaments? That would be something special.
Yeah, some have been nasty, man.
I would love to hear some stories on that.
Okay, so I'll tell you 2 that were gross that made me throw up. Do you want me to
wait, time out. No.
Not throw up, but all right.
Here,
so
this thing is disgusting. Try it. No.
So Jimmy Sherman,
you get one. No. You only get one.
I'll do one.
If that's gonna be gross, you only get one.
No, but it's not gross if I tell you to. It's gross if you were right there. You're the corner judge and you got the best view of it. So Jimmy Sherman, who is the owner of Team Unity, he's fighting a guy named C.J. Corbin, who is from Spartanburg Martial Arts, and of course the guy has a high chamber. His chamber's up, right? Of course. So not sure why Jimmy thinks to do a ridge hand to the body, and so he does, and he just gets all shin. So his arm went right on his shin and snap. And I'm the corner judge right there, and I just immediately go like this, right? Because I can't. And as soon as Jimmy hits it, he goes and he runs completely across the whole gym. And everyone has to like tackle him to get him to stop and
he's in shock.
Down. It was insane. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
This happened in September. He came back and won the Super Grands as a wild card.
In December?
In December. No. Timeout. Not December. It was in Thanksgiving that year. It was 2007. So, yeah, 2 months later. And so hats off to him. I mean, and to a really good, like a legendary fighter from Guatemala, Mauricio Valenzuela, who had a lot of titles back in the day. Man, I mean, yeah, like he worked his butt off to win that one. So, but I was like, dude, what are you doing?
I'm gonna tell you that though. So I've had a bunch of injuries like that. I've never really been fully healthy ever, right? So, but I've always been competing. Um, I just love this so much that I don't really care.
Right.
Right. And I had conversations with Jotty about it, and he would say, I'm not going to give someone the satisfaction of fighting me when they might be able to get a win on me if I'm not at my best.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. If I'm competing, if Jotty Tension is competing, Jotty Tension is going to be Jotty Tension. And I really admire that. I really, really do. But I love martial arts so much, and I just want to do it. Right.
Yeah.
I just want to be there. So I just do it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't really give a dang.
Right.
Whatever. You're gonna win. Big deal. Go ahead. You gotta fight me to win.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if you do, big deal. Right. I'm not gonna love it, but I'm certainly not gonna lay down and let you do it.
Right.
So
yeah.
It just eats me too much to just be at a tournament and not compete. But we kind of talked about that before.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next topic of World Championships. We are at about that time of year. This is starting to become a world thing. We've talked about that, how the WKC World Championships is now become
November?
it's the November 3rd through whatever. It's that Sunday to Friday. So it kicks off November 3rd. All right. I think that's the final day of weigh-ins is November 3rd. So that one has become, the most prominent one right now. The Waka World Championships is a big one. I think there's the WKA, there's the WKU.
Yeah, WKU I think next week is WKU in Austria.
Wait a minute now.
Yeah.
And it might just be me.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the WKU.
All right.
Nothing until I see someone post that they just won the World Championships from the WKU.
That's
like,
funny.
That sounds like you just put WK and just picked a different letter and added it to it, because I didn't hear anything about it or know that there was is there a national qualifier? Is there a regional qualifier?
Yes, there is.
Was this in secret?
Actually, right now the
WKU know
WKU
that she's your girlfriend. It's one of those. Like, I don't know.
So the WKA is pretty much done. All right,
it's not a thing anymore.
Not really. The last, I think 2 or 3 years ago, I think Bob took a team there, Bob Liker.
Yep.
But there was no qualifier. There was nothing going on. They tried. They worked.
Time out. Bob Liker took a team to the WKA a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to be one of the
Waco? Yeah. This was his transition time.
So what transition? It transitioned years ago.
Here's the deal. Jared technically was the Waco guy. He was the WKU guy.
Tomato, man.
Listen, I'm telling you how they worked around it, bro. All right. So, and then he left that, and then the next year took the spot. So, and it became a two-headed thing. So, anyways.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Anyways, I know WKA, they were doing it in certain, like, I think it was Italy was where they were, Tuscany was where they were doing it for a while.
Word?
Yeah. So, and it was supposed to be like the biggest world championships ever and all this stuff, but I don't know. Raymond went, I think, a few years ago and just did an overall type. They were doing this open weight type
at the WKA.
Yeah, and they were doing this So he wasn't actually competing in the WKA, but they did this open weight type challenge event, right? And then he just beat everybody.
Which was paid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He made a lot.
Yeah.
Like $5,000.
Like, I'm not going to compete in your tournament.
No.
But why don't you just throw some money in a hat?
Right.
Let me beat everybody, and I'll take that money.
Yeah. So that was weird.
So he basically made a World Championships an open tournament.
Right.
Claps to you.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Way to go.
So yeah, so all that happened. Who else was there? I think Mike Chat was there that year too. It was really weird. They had some different stuff. But anyways, I think the year before that, WKA broke off again, right? So the origins was Waco, and then you had WKA, and they broke apart, right? Because WKA wanted more stuff, Waco just wanted less stuff. There's differences in rules and all this, probably political stuff. That broke off. In 2000, well, here's one that people don't know about. 2001, WK broke off, or no, yeah, 2000, at the end of 2001. So 2002, it broke off. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was WTKA or something like that, right? And Sharky was going to be a part of it and stuff. I don't think anything happened with that. Then years later, then you have the WKC that broke off from WK. Then you have the WKA that actually broke off, and that's where you get the WKU. And right now, actually, the WKU has more countries than a lot of these. The WKU has a lot of countries.
Do they have a lot? They have a lot of countries, but do they have a lot of competitors?
Yes. Yeah. They. I think from most people, they have still a bigger tournament than most. Not Waco, but they have a bigger tournament. So.
Do they have better competitors?
In forms, yeah. In most cases, they have better. I don't know about in fighting, continuous wise, and honestly, the way the USA team has gone, it just depends. Like I was telling you about, like Laco's team, Team Alchemy, they've actually every year do a different one. So, and he brings 10 to 15 competitors. So, you could say, yeah, fighting WKU is awesome this year. Next year they may not be, because his team's not there, Mike Tobin from Utah is following it a lot, and they have an awesome team as well. Let's see. So WKU, I think, is growing. Kevin Walker goes every year.
Yeah, I know.
He's huge on that, and Speedy goes every year. They have a big following, from that Kentucky, Indiana area. Lori Lantrip, Lori Stanley.
There's a group of people from Minnesota who go.
So yes, and she is the owner, not the owner, but the team coach of that. She got that. She took that over from her father from years ago.
Oh, Nikki Stanley.
Yeah, no, not Nikki Stanley. Lori Stanley. Lori Lantrip.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lori Lantrip was a top women's fighter in the 80s and early 90s, and her dad, Jim Lantrip, was a big judge, but also was the coach for Waco, WKA, all the different stuff throughout. He's kind of gone the whole gamut. So,
okay. So, well, yeah. So of all of them,
yeah,
who's got their stuff together the best that you really think? Oh yeah, man, that's pretty good.
I mean, so it's hard to argue with the Waco has support from outside, which is nice. I still think that it's more of a European thing, and I think, I don't. In some ways, I like the rules. Some ways, I don't. Their thing is set up good because it's a nonprofit, so they can get the sponsors and things like that. Yeah. I don't know the ins and outs of WKU or WKC or WKA, but I think WKC is probably the best combo as far as rules of NBL, NASCA, and the European stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of like the team fighting rules, but I like that they still
the team fighting rules of what, the WKC,
right? I still like the total points type thing, but as far as like their fighting rules, they're very similar to NBL, but with tweaks. And they have the ground fighting. They have the 1 point kick to the bite. They have all that.
Do they have ground fighting?
Yeah, I think you can follow up for 3 seconds. Now, you can't do where if you hit someone and then fall, it's a point. They have the goods of both.
Part of it, and then without the bad.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit on the same position where you are. I like the professionalism and how big Waco is built up.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think it's kind of a European thing. I think they kind of want it that way. Subtly, I think they kind of want it that way. But as far as Canada, like all the Americas, right?
Yeah.
North, Central, and South, we're not doing ourselves any favors as far as getting over there, right?
No.
The closest we were was when Ray and Hugh had the Waco USA national team, okay? Because Don had it for decades, and it was not managed the best way,
Right.
right? So put it like that. We don't even get into details. It wasn't great, right?
Well,
But
it was.
he's got a NASCAR tournament that he's doing. Let that be his thing. That's fine. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what I don't like about the Waco is it's every other year.
Yeah. True.
It's every other year.
Yeah.
Do it every year, right?
Yeah.
So you can do the seniors and the juniors. That's what they call it. The seniors are adults. Juniors are anybody who's not an adult. So
18
you can,
under.
yeah, you can do them together. Like just do it. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about the WKC. It's every year, everybody's got a shot. Go.
Yeah.
Right? And because it moves, okay, like this year, it's in Niagara Falls. Okay?
Yeah.
Next year, it's in Spain. So because it's going to be in Spain, they have to do it earlier. So maybe the
August.
scheduling works out to where, let's say Jeff Doss says, no, I can't go that year, in Spain. If it was and that was the year you were supposed to go. If it was every other year, now you can't go for another couple.
Yeah. True. Very true.
And
That's a good way to
now
look at it.
obviously that does put the pressure on you to, hey, you better go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's have it. Let's do the World Championships.
That's why Waco does the the Pan Ams. So when they do the year that the adults have their World Championships, they'll have the Junior Pan Ams, right? And then the year
they do the European Championships.
Well, yeah, but then they also have the Pan Ams for our area. So,
well,
the European. So for the others. So that's what they do. Now WKU and WKC are doing Pan Ams as well in our area. So in February in Acapulco, Hugo Mendoza is going to do the WKC Pan Ams, which
good.
if you win,
so that would be a qualifier also.
That would be a qualifier if you win first place. You win first place at the Pan Ams, which is cool because that's like you're going against a whole two continents. It's going to be great competition in Acapulco. And then the next week, Luis Jimenez is going to do the WKU Pan Ams in Texas, Houston, Texas. And so, I mean,
this is going to end up like boxing titles.
Yep. Oh, it already is, but
right. But when you see someone's
time out, because there's some that we don't even mention.
The WBO, who cares? I know there's a bunch we haven't mentioned.
Right.
There's some reasons we haven't mentioned them.
Right.
They don't really. Sorry, you don't matter.
Right. Well, I mean, time out. Do you remember that when you would win Battle of Atlanta, you would also get a WKC or a WKA? I'm sorry, a PKC or a PKA world title? Did you know that?
The same as you winning the US Open and getting the ISKA.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about 1 year division. You would get that.
Right. Exactly.
But an ISKA, it was $1,000,000. So, but yeah, man. And so that's coming up to ISKA World Championships next year, the week before US Open in the same area. So, yeah.
Wait, the World Championships is going to be the week before US Open?
I think so, yeah. June is what I saw. They had a qualifier for it last weekend or this weekend or something.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you've done...
One. That was it. I did WKA. 2001. 2001 in Austria.
What's your experience like?
Well, it was fun going to another country at 17 by myself. A lot of fun. We did. I mean, man, I could tell we could do a whole episode just on that one, just all the backstories and everything, because the
You could
first.
tell stories on just that one.
Oh yes, but man,
That would be story time with Uncle Jeff.
right. But here's the deal. So the WKA at the time was really trying to build itself up within America, and they had a strong following. But
Correct.
still, again, it's
Okay.
similar. They had that going on. The year before, the championships was in Kentucky, so they had people from CJB, SES, several different
Right.
ones, right? But because a lot of the guys, so people forget, they're like, the Team USA coach was like, I had all of Team CJB and we didn't win any titles. And I'm like, most of our team was from Canada, idiot. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they were all there. Yeah, our team was there, but most of them were on the Canadian team. There was only one or two people that were actually on the American team that were, and you had Nikki Carlson, who won, and you had Jason, who won. So, okay. So they won. I think Stephanie was there too, and she won. But so the next year, it was pretty much like he was still mad about that, right? The coach. And his first team meeting was, well, the coach of CJB was supposed to be here, and he was just saying that Conroy was supposed to be there. And I'm like, I haven't heard nothing, because the sponsor, Spencer and I went to WK together, right? Me, Spencer, Corinne, Belanger, and Claire all went. Us four went. They were on Canada. I was on US. We were on USA. Spencer helped us get there. Some of it. The other part we got on our own.
You had to pay your own bills.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But Spencer was there. He wanted to compete. He wanted to do that. I wanted to compete. We wanted to go there. So we're there, and the coach is saying that Coach Conroy was supposed to be, and we're like, no, he wasn't. He told you this a while ago. And so that was like the first thing for me. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on with this. And he just kept going on. It was like, we won more titles this year than when we had SES and CJB or something. And we were like, at the same time, you have me on there, Spencer on there, Ski is there. At the all of us are winning titles. We're like, yeah, we're still here though, So there was some bitter taste in my mouth from that, and like some racist comments and things like that I didn't really like from some of the different people around, and
like
it was
the different
just
countries.
Some of the helpers of the team, I won't call them coaches, because I just won't call them coaches. I don't think they deserve to be called that, but we'll just say that. So there were just some things like that. One of the things I will say is that Lori made sure that she kind of was like, listen, certain things shouldn't have been said. This shouldn't have happened. She was really taking over and really trying to help at that point. That was one of the things with that. I really liked the competition. It was fun. I was not allowed to do intergalactic. They told me that would not win in Europe, because it was. Yeah.
You weren't even allowed to play the music you wanted to play.
From the team, from the USA team. He told me, he's like, listen, you know how to choreograph music. They want choreography, and your style will win, but you can't do the form you do here, because they don't want the comedy stuff, or whatever you do, the entertainment stuff. So they told me that.
And then you didn't win.
No, I did my old form with the Moni. I did, what was it, Moni or something? And
yeah,
I won
Billy
that.
Idol. Yeah. I remember.
So
that was good.
I did that.
When you held the twist kick.
Yeah, I held the twist kick and the front kick, and yeah. So I did that.
I remember. That was a fan.
And I won that. I didn't make the team for traditional, which is pretty crazy. Because that's another thing I don't like about these things, is that, so WK and WKU, the rule was when you went to the qualifiers, if you were already on the team, you made it the next year. So I went, they took 4 people. There was only 1 spot left, or actually no spot. So I'm like, why am I even competing in this? So I wasn't able to compete for traditional forms, which I was one of the top in that time. So really kind of weird.
So here's what I'm gathering from all this. You need a positive world championship experience.
All right. Yes and no. I had a lot of fun. I loved it. It was fun.
Well, right. You need a positive competition experience.
Right.
You need to go to the WKC Worlds next year. You really?
I would like to go. I would like to go to Spain. I would, and I'd like to do it. I will say that, and I'm not knocking anybody. I think, well, their traditional's coming up. It's getting better. I don't think the creative is where it could be. I wish we had more top competitors that went to WKC for that. Waco.
I feel like it's starting to trickle a little bit. Well, Waco, we don't have anybody.
Well, that's not true. Tyler did very well years ago. Tim Conkle did well the last couple years. They all got like all tens and stuff. Arturo.
That was when Paul Mitchell was still.
No. Jared and them took Tim and Tyler.
Okay, so what's the status of Jarrett and the?
I think it's Bob and Jarrett. Yeah, the Waco USA. Bob and Jarrett.
But no, they're not doing anything with it though.
They have their tryouts and stuff in February or something.
So when's the Waco? This is 2019. So the Waco World Championship should be this year for the adults.
Right, and Anthony is going to go.
Anthony Price?
No, Anthony Merrick's is going. I think.
So here's wait. So when Hugh and Ray took over, all right, we went from 0 competitors from America to 20, right? Small group who went there.
I won't say 0 competitors. There was a team every year that went, but it was mostly from Rhode Island and Boston.
Exactly. So, all right. So they do it. They have a good presence. Okay, we're doing this. We're going. Here we go. Okay. Then the next year is the juniors. Okay. And there was a bunch of juniors that went. I had 3 kids from my school who went. Right.
Bailey.
That's when I first watched Bailey. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, how good is this guy really? Yeah. And that's when I realized, no, he's the real deal.
Don Lyles took people. Laco took people, actually. Yeah, he had people there, too. So.
Yep. And so, it was a big deal. Well, then the next year was 2017. Ray and Hugh are out. Bob and Jarrett now have it.
Yeah.
And they're going to Budapest. And there was not any direction as far as who was running it. I know this because I had one of my students who was on the team. All right. So, and there was 8 people from USA who were there. Okay. And Lakers weren't even there. Yeah. They showed up when they were there, but then as soon as the fighting was supposed to start, they left. They went back to the States. Wow. So that's why I'm like, what are they doing with this thing? Are they running it or not? I know they're back.
So I know right now, I think Jared's doing a lot of coaching on the WKF circuit. So that may be
what
are we
looking at then?
No, I know.
Last year, did USA, did we have a junior team?
I have no idea.
Exactly. So now look at this. Isn't this sound crazy? We were actually more consistent than when Don had it. Isn't that crazy to say? We were better off and at least consistent when he had it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because now nobody knows anything what's happened. We're basically a forgotten country when it comes to the Waco World Championships.
So I think they have a stronger team. We're trying to. I know Tyreek is going this year. I think Bailey's going this year. Anthony's going this year. That's what I saw on their page on who was going.
Now the person who's the real president of Waco USA is not Ray, Hugh, Don, Jarrett, Bob. It's a guy named Rob Zabilski. All right?
Yeah, but I think that's the kickboxing.
Right.
Or technically, it's all kickboxing.
And he's from Huntley, Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay. Been to school. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Right. So he manages all the kickboxing, all the ring sports. But and he's always had a good following. A lot of people who've gone and fought for him.
Yeah.
Right. And he's great kickboxer and kickboxing coach. So he's had guys who fought in glory. Right.
Yeah.
So, but he is just straight up. He's like, because he had a conversation with me about it, and I was talking to him, and he said, Ray and Hugh approached me, and I thought, hey, this would be a better idea. Let's have them go with it. I don't ever have to worry about the ring stuff, the tatami stuff. I'm confident they'll be able to take care of that. And then he, fast tracked that happening. Now look where we're at.
Yeah.
He's still running the ring sports. He's still doing that.
Yeah.
So.
And see, that's what's weird. We take a team every year to the World Combat Games, to the Pan Ams for that, but not for the other stuff. So
I know.
Yeah.
Sucky.
Yeah.
Let's
I think
go.
they had someone before, but I don't know. This year, but I'm not sure.
I have no idea. That should be someone should tell us, hey, what happened to Waco USA?
Yeah.
Anybody know? Let's put an APB out for them. Let's go to our competitors of the week.
I'll start.
I'll go. All right, you go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So my competitor of the week is a competitor that's been around for a long time. She was from the NBL circuit recently, but her name is Hope Chase, and she just won over the weekend her Invicta debut, and so she got, which if you don't know, Invicta is like one of the top it's an all women MMA league, right? And pretty much they have a contract with UFC. It's on their UFC TV pass, Fight Pass, all that stuff.
Oh, so they're together.
They're together. So a lot of their women's league fighters come from Invicta and then come over, right? When Cyborg was in talks with that, she was the Invicta champion. They brought her over. There a lot of those people from the very first Ultimate Fighter Women's House or whatever they did were all from Invicta. So this is a great step for her. She won pretty much everything in NBL. Continuous, point, Korean, one of the best Korean, traditional weapons, creative, all this and that. She beat men in forms. She beat men in traditional forms. Great fighter. Awesome. Her and her whole family, three sisters, Hope, Bridget, and Bridie, Bessie Chase. All three of them, great competitors, all from a Tang Soo Do background. And so Hope won, I think, in the first round, submission under a minute or something like that. So big time. Her first big deal on UFC Fight Pass. Just ready for it. She has the personality to do it. She, of the three, I think, has the ability, has personality, just an overall competitor. And excited to see it. See her, continue to grow and get better. So wanted to shout her out for that performance over the weekend, and just how great a competitor she has been over the years. And now this is where she's going from there to be an MMA champion. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're from Pennsylvania as well, just so you know. Pennsylvania.
Anytime there's a crossover to full contact, we touched a lot on that last week.
Yeah.
Right. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And a lot of my instructors, that was just kind of the culture. Like you would do this, and eventually, like, okay, when are you going to be full contact? When are you going to be full contact?
Right.
And then now that there's MMA, that's kind of that thing as well. So that's wow. Yeah. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
My competitor of the week is Connor McGlinchey.
All right.
Connor, if you haven't seen him, is 17'8". Yeah. So no, I think he's like 6'4". All right. So, but he's tall, lanky, 6'4" too, and like a light middleweight or something of that. right? Like they don't make people like that, but there he is. So I first met him at Tala Martial Arts. So when I went to the Irish Open, I knew that Ross Cook was going to go to school at Trinity University in Dublin. So tried to figure out, all right, what kind of training is it going to look like? Is it going to be possible? Where are we going to do it? Tala Martial Arts is a place to go. Training with a guy named Dave Heffernan. All right. Dave has produced multiple world champions from that one school.
Yep.
Gar Ryan, Dean Barry, Shauna Bannon. All right.
Yep. Shauna Bannon's great.
Yeah, from that school.
Is Robbie from there?
Robbie, I think, started there.
Yeah.
Robbie has his own schools now.
Right.
But Ireland's got a lot of schools. Roy Baker has like 5 of them.
Yeah.
So, that was the first time. It was 2016 when I first met Connor. So we're training together, and Dave, he doesn't play around when he's training, and there was probably 50 people in the class. He was huge, right? Last training before the Irish Open, everybody's gonna go, okay, et cetera, everybody's there. So there's probably 50 or more people who are there, and everybody's good. Okay, so we're there, and no one's cracking jokes. I crack jokes a lot, right?
Yeah.
But usually it's watch, I'm kick you in your face, and we're just jostled back and forth with some people. I used to do that a lot. Well, only with certain people. Nobody's doing that. That's just the culture. So I got a chance to fight Connor a little bit, and yeah, he's a good fighter, right? So I remember thinking like, yeah, he's pretty good. He could do something, and he can kick well. And in Europe, there's like, I don't know, 4 people who can do that, and
right.
So yeah, he's really good. So then later on that year, one of my students, Lonzo Payne, is fighting Connor for the gold medal, and they're fighting, and the final score was ridiculous. It was like 27-28, right? Or something like that. Maybe it was like even something crazier than that. It might have been like 28-30, something like that. I don't know, right? But it was up there. And they were just going back and forth. And Zoe's doing a lot of great things now. But Connor is tricky. He's had some good wins this year and last year. Now he's on Team Proper.
Right.
Juniors got a hold of him. I think he spent it's either this summer or last summer.
He's been there. He's been with Proper for probably 2 years now.
Right, but I think he spent the whole summer with him.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was more than that. Maybe it was like more than that, but I'm not sure.
And I know he did spring break and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Over there with them. In March, he's always there for a week or two. So.
Yeah. Yep. And so, yeah, it was just funny though. He's a funny guy. It was I mentioned this before, the brawl that happened at the AKAs this year. We see it happening. Connor was right next to me. He turns to me and he goes, "Alex, freaking Americans." I had to giggle because it was like, that's the stereotype, that they have for us.
Yeah.
That we're just hotheads, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he beat Avery Plowden once this year. I think in like an open weight championship he did. So he's had some good wins. I want to see him put it all together, and not here and there. I want to see him put it all together in one weekend and fight for the final for an overall. That would be great. And I don't know where his weight is lining up. Is he going to be in the lighter ones? Is he? I'm not sure. I can't imagine he's going to be in the lighter ones. That's the tricky part about being a light middleweight. Because if you're a light middleweight, you're in like what? You're in the
lightest of the
170s. Right? You're in the 170s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'd be fighting a heavyweight who's 200 plus. Yeah. That's a big deal. When you went down to one overall, someone was going to have to fight someone anyway. Whatever. Right. But I want to see him put it together for one full weekend and be that guy in the end. And I think he's got the talent to be able to do it.
Yeah.
I just want to see him do it. Yeah, it would be great. I'd definitely be cheering for him.
Yeah, I like watching him. I've never been able to meet him or be around. I don't even think. Yeah, I've been around him when he's been here. But
hey, I got an idea.
Alexa.
Throw your tournament and tell him to come, and then you'll meet him.
Yeah, there you go.
See, look at this. I'm problem solving.
All right.
Okay, let's go on to the next topic of should it stay or should it go?
Yes, sir.
And we might have to just talk about this because I'm not quite sure. We'll have to go back and forth on this a little bit.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Because I really don't know where I should lie on this. The first one, let's go with foam dip gear. So I mentioned my fingers all messed up. Well, because I was wearing Warrior handbags. I have foam dip gear. Boom. If I was wearing closed finger gloves, like I have to now, that would have never happened. Okay. But then the old school people say, if you'd have closed your fist, that would have been an issue.
That's right.
I get that.
That is one of the problems with the other gear is that people now.
Do you see what I mean?
Oh,
then you got to go with that. Right.
Yeah.
I actually heard Chris talking about this when he and Travis were talking about this on CZ. And he was talking about how, it was fun. He wore the foam dip gear again. I did that a few weeks back, and I saw this stuff just sitting. You got bags just sitting, and you just got equipment or uniforms and stuff, and you just look at that and go, that's easily been here 10 years, and I've never touched it. Because you have so many uniforms. You have so much just like, what am I going to do with this gear?
Right.
I've never worn it.
So gear was like that for me, man.
So I see this pair of hand pads that it's easily been there since 2010. And I thought, what the heck? Let's go fight with it. So it was like a couple weeks ago. I was training with it, and people were just like, what are you wearing? Because it looks so tiny. It's so tiny. Yeah. Right? But you can grab so much easier. People don't grab anymore because they can't. When you try to scoop a leg, but it's not just about scooping a leg. You grab their uniform. Right? Yeah. The one and only time I fought Ski, when we were fighting team fights at Capitals, and he's running from me. So I grabbed him, and it was and that would have never happened today. It never would have happened.
No, that's I mean, we can get into so many different rules that are still based around that. Yeah,
let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
There's on the other end, there's a lot of injuries because of the way that the other ones do. Thumbs, I jam my thumb so many times because you can't make a full fist, right?
You know what's interesting about that? I'm gonna knock. I've never done that,
dude. Who's done the worst? Sage and Colby, they've broken their thumbs like 3 or 4 times with that.
But it's just like with the hand pad. So when you have it, you can't just hit anywhere on your fist.
Yeah.
You have to pinpoint. You can't. You hit on this part of your fist. You hit by the ring finger or the pinky. You break your whole hand. Your whole hand.
Right.
So you have to hit by the index finger and middle finger knuckle. You got to hit there. That's the only place that you can do that.
It's true.
A glove. So it's the same thing when you're wearing like a SAP, an ASG, a top 10, etc. You have to do the same thing. I've never hit my thumb. I'm gonna knock a on wood again because I don't want to. But you can't ridge hand with those. You can, but it looks weird. It just looks like a really bad.
It's different.
Punch. It just looks like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I still love that. Right? But you're right. So here's the deal. For me, I wear everything Warrior except hand gear right now. Warrior feet pads, Warrior headgear, everything that. And honestly, I want to get back to doing the hand pads, just because it makes me put my hands and fists the way I should. Honestly.
But you know the big thing is though.
What?
The blocking surface. The blocking surface is so much bigger when you're wearing an ASG or a top 10 or any of that close finger glove style. Yeah, it's so much bigger. And if you went like this, when you're wearing one of those, gloves, you're covered.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true.
You
The
could
other
just
thing,
put the
though,
guard in front.
it was way easier for me to run my class and spar at the same time with the macho gear.
Yes.
I can't have my timer in my hand or my cell phone or wherever else and
Yeah.
turn the
There's
music up
there's
and doing this or
yeah.
that. Yeah.
There's loopholes
But
around that, but
yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
yeah, it's like it's crazy. Or your mouthpiece have to hold on. Let me explain this again. Let me take my hand here. It's a lot of
Yep.
extra stuff. But I like both. I don't think one or the other needs to be banned. I really don't. I do like that. So when WSKF was around, they just said that
Oh, that's
if you
right.
if you were doing continuous, you couldn't wear a foam dip. You had to
Yeah.
have your fingers covered. And I think for that style of fighting, it's true. I think you do need to have that. That is one of the
Yeah.
downfalls
That's
that
a good point.
the NBL does is they let continuous happen with that, which is okay, but you get some scratches. Um,
15
the
years ago, we didn't even really, nobody really
no,
wore close finger gloves. You
right. There
looked
wasn't
strange.
that.
If you had a close finger glove, you
And
looked like a
and and
cheeseburger.
I had a pair of those top tens, and man, they were just so weird back then. They were so hard. I mean, they
Yeah.
hurt. They were not like, I mean, it was some type of crazy rubber back then. So anyways, that that's one of the things I think on that. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm on the other end. So where I live, every tournament says it has to be foam dipped. Like
That's so strange.
these tournaments that aren't NBL or aren't NASCA, that's what they do. And so there's an issue like, whoa, what's this?
Why do why do they
You got
why do
boxing
they
gloves on. Well, it's just because it's in the rules and they never change it. And they think that the ASG gear, if that's boxing, that's too heavy. You're gonna knock someone out with those gear. That's the dumb mindset
what?
they have. Yeah,
Now here's the thing. What about the foot pads?
I like the macho foot pads. That's
No,
what I'll
I
stick
mean
with.
I'm talking about the tournament rule. Would they care about that? Probably not, right?
They
Small
will.
clothes.
Yeah, they will.
They would
Yeah,
they would care?
it's
Oh
all of it.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
So
I'm gonna go out on a limb. You only want to wear macho foam dip foot pads.
yes, I have
You know
never
why?
tried. I've never tried the other ones, and I don't
And I
really
know
want to.
why. True kickers
Yeah,
want foam dip
yeah.
gear. Yeah. I had a conversation with Tom Roberts. We were at WKC World Championships, and in the division, it was like he and I were the only people with foam dip foot
Foot
pads on.
pads. Yeah.
And I can't remember if it was he or I. One of us said to the other person, like, "You can tell who's a true kicker if you're wearing foam dip
Right,
foot
right.
pads now."
It fits
Right,
your foot more, right? So
but it's not just that. It's just a lot of it's mental.
it is. It's all mental. No, I know.
So
It's
I
just
got like I talked to Roman Brundle. He can't stand it. He won't wear it. He won't wear foam dip gear. And then and those his foot's so big
yeah,
because he's 6'5", that he has to get like I don't know, like triple extra large or double X or something like that. That the boot part goes up to like the middle of his shin almost.
right.
It's strange, and he's got skinny legs in comparison.
Yeah,
So he's got to like wrap it like an extra time around. So, and I look at that and think that is extremely awkward and uncomfortable.
right.
He loves it. You
Well,
see what I'm saying?
right.
Now, all right. What's your favorite of all of the ones? Whether it's ASG, Hayabusa,
That's really hard to
SAP,
say.
Top 10. What's your favorite of all of them?
Of the newer style hand gear.
The closed finger, the newer style gear, hand and foot.
All right, so the one that stands out to me, but I don't know. I really like PKG. PKG was fun when I got it.
I forgot about that. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I really like
That's
their hand
Nate
gear.
Thorne, right? Yeah.
Yep, they were really cool. I got a pair of them. I do stick normally with ASG though, for the most
Yeah.
part. Um, I just do. I think headgear wise though, I mean I
Yeah.
haven't tried their new one. Top 10 has just been around for years and they've had a great one. So, um, My Hayabusa ones were pretty. I like them. My Hayabusa ones were good. But I didn't like. I think the inside just bothered me because it was leather on the inside of my thumb, and so that just kept peeling, and so it was just annoying. It wasn't anything safety wise; it was just annoying.
Yeah, mine. I'm like when I'm wearing my gear, I'm like that kid who showed up to school with a Reebok T-shirt and Adidas shoes
Yep,
and
same here. I'm the same way.
Nike sweatpants
Yep,
and an Under
one
Armour
of
backpack.
everything.
Like pick one, man. But no, so I can only wear a top 10 headgear because of the way the sizing works. I've tried many times. It's like there's the medium ASG headgear is that should fit a 6-year-old, and the large, like my head's not that big. I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you. I don't know. All right, and so, but my favorite was Sap's headgear from like I don't know, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
They were great, but I think it was like 2014 Battle of Atlanta. I put it down on a chair. I turned around, I was watching a fight. I turned back around, gone, and someone took my black belt too. Yeah.
Oh man.
But
So
but yeah, I want to
what
wear
was the
foam
headgear I
dip.
hated?
I want to wear foam dip foot pads.
Yep.
But if
Same.
of that newer style foot pad, my favorite ones that I put on are the Hayabusa ones.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, those are my favorite. But of the gloves, yeah, the Hayabusa ones I liked, but the NK ones from ASG, those are the coolest looking ones.
Yeah,
Right,
those
I
are
like
cool.
those.
Yeah.
Those are good. I like those. So yeah, I'm all over
I like
that,
those.
man.
All right, I had the weirdest headgear I ever wore, which actually I think ended up rupturing my eardrum, and I never did it
What?
again. Was
Oh, I know which one you're gonna talk about.
the Mancho one.
The MVP.
Yeah, do you remember the one that
The
Pombero
big.
wore, and it had this weird kind of thing, and
Yeah,
it was
Preston
like,
wore it too.
yeah, but Pombero was the one that was doing the ads for it, right?
Oh no, this is a different one. I know, but it was also
Yeah,
foam dip. But it
yeah, it
had
was
like an
phone
extra
dip,
plastic on the
but
outside.
but it was like trying to make it in the top 10 style, but phone dipped. It was really weird, right?
Really bad.
And it cut my ear in a weird way, and it just popped and ruptured my eardrum. It was awful,
Yeah.
man.
That
So
stinks.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's some different stuff, man. I mean, honestly, the sea gear stuff isn't that bad as people
The
think.
Century CG gear?
Yeah,
It's all right.
it's all right. It's all right.
How about this? So you mentioned
I don't
headgear.
wear headgear, so I don't really
What
know.
about, have you ever worn a face shield? Have you ever had to wear a face shield?
Yeah, I had to wear it because I broke my nose and I wanted to keep competing, and
It's a
so I
big
did
deal.
it. No, but because then it would have just at that point like it was that bad, like I broke it that many times, and so I just said, all right, let me just figure it out, and I did it for like 2 months, and I got rid of it. I couldn't stand it.
I only had to wear a face shield 2 times. And it was because I won't even get into the interaction that happened. But basically, my lip was split all the way through. And it was like a week before the tournament.
Right.
And then it got reopened
Oh man.
a week before the next tournament. So I had stitches, man. I tell you what. You ever and so when they have to put like stitches and they have to pull your lip out and look like the Predator, it was gross, man. So it was only 2 times I had to wear a face shield. But some people love wearing face shields. Like Ryan McGriff always wore a face shield.
Yeah, he had that big old one too.
Right. Johnny wore a face shield every now. He would wear a face shield every
He
now and
wore a
then.
face shield a lot.
Yeah. So there's AP Anthony Price wore a face shield,
Yep.
and he wore the big just like Ryan wore.
Kevin Thompson wore one way back in the day.
But didn't his have like the bar, like the football?
He had like an old school hockey mask at
Yeah.
one point. So back then they had the face shield just to do that, but they didn't even wear a headgear. It just went like this. It didn't cover anything.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Do you think one should be cut out? Do you think foam dip gear should be out, or what do you think?
I think for certain event, like I said, for continuous style fighting, yes. as far as the hand gear, just
So if we're
because I don't
saying
think
should it stay or
so
should
much.
it go, do
I
you
just
think
think
it's safer to have the foam dip gear, or do you think it is more dangerous to have the foam dip gear?
I don't think either way. I think there's some martial arts things that you need to that the foam gear actually provides that we don't get to do because of the closed ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like ridge hands and like things like grabbing, like blocking, like uh, certain types of techniques, ridge hands and stuff. And I
You know what
think,
I?
and I think actually being able to close your fist, so
Yeah. What I do hate, I'm glad, is culturally almost completely gone, is ring stars.
yes, agreed. And I was going to get into that too. That was a whole another issue.
They're not
And
gone though.
I'm,
Some people are hanging on.
I know
Chelsea would wear rings.
she
Chelsea
loves
Nash,
them.
she would wear ring stars any
Everyone.
chance that she could.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Greg Betlock used to wear those things a lot too. He used to wear them things out.
I used to wear in my dojo for about 3 years, like all the time, and now I can't even stand them. I don't even want them around.
Heck,
But
no.
all right,
So no hard
that
set
was
decision.
a fun
Yeah.
one. No, it's not a hard set decision, but it's fun to kind of go through all the different ones, and it's funny because we talk in the past about like Shihan and some of those type of gear,
Yeah.
but we forget that there are so many like
A
now like
lot of
closed finger ones. I mean, like you were saying, like I look like that when I fight. I have a white top 10 top with, a black top 10 top with black pants, or sometimes I would wear my top 10 top with the macho fake rec suit pants with
what?
with macho foot gear with an ASG front glove, with my backhand be the Pro Force glove, with my headgear be a white,
You
just
should
yeah,
wear next time. You should just have everything be a different color.
yeah,
Every piece of equipment do that.
I love it.
That would be interesting. Well, all right. The next one, and the last one, um, coaches' chairs for fighting. Coaching chairs.
All right,
Tell me what you think about this. Should it stay? Should it go?
it should go. So
The
I don't
chair
like it.
itself should be gone.
Right, because I don't like it as a safety precaution for me. People falling. I've seen so many kids fall and hit their heads on chairs and things like that. Yes, they have a headgear, so it should be fine. But there's also a neck exposed. There's also rib issues, different things like that. They can hit other things. I don't necessarily like it on that. Especially don't like two chairs. I just think it's just too much around the ring.
I think they should go for the
So
similar reasons. Because of
yeah.
the reasons, the way they were presented to us, were that you have to stay in the chair and it prevents someone from coming in the ring.
I don't think
People
so.
bum rush. People bum
Yeah,
rush these
no,
rings.
that has nothing to do with it. No.
No. So, and there's not done the right way with ample space. It could be done right if there's X amount of space in between the end of the ring and the chair.
Right.
Because if it's right up to the edge of the ring, that's not
Yeah.
fair. You've now
No.
cut the ring off for me. And if
Exactly.
now
For your own
right,
person.
or the competitor, or the opponent,
or the other. But I mean, for the most part, that is your range to move around, right? I mean,
right.
yeah.
So I think the coaching chair should go. And if you just said, okay, no, there can only be one person there, or there can only be two people there, but they have to stay on this side, that's
Right.
fine. Now, if that fight is going there, well, tell you what, that person has two legs. They can move.
Yep. Exactly.
And if you want to penalize them for
I've
going
always
into
liked
the
that.
ring, you can penalize them.
I've always liked that, and I've always liked that you had a coach's box, and if someone else was in there, then yeah, you either remove them or there's a penalty for too many in there. Shouldn't be that way. I mean, shouldn't even come to that anyway. But some people like to do that. You have that area. I mean,
Hey, what about this? And people have mentioned this before, but like in football, when you throw a flag,
yeah,
But what about this? If the coach at any point had one flag that he could throw, that he could stop the match.
Yeah.
You know, he could say, boom, throws it in there, and now
Yeah.
the match has to stop because he threw the flag in.
Right.
And that way he can have a conversation with the officials.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be fair.
That may be fair.
'Cause that's-
But for an issue like that, yeah, I agree, because then you don't have to step in or anything like that. We had even talked about doing a flag for like timeouts. That way people weren't like trying to cheat and have more than one timeout.
I've dealt with people doing that.
Yeah. And so if you had the flag and actually, all right, you take it away, they physically don't have another one. They can't do that anymore. But again, I think, yeah, like you said, the issue is people walking in the ring, telling people what the rules are, trying to manipulate a center, trying to do this or that. You know, that's gotta go.
But at the same time, what if they're getting it wrong?
Oh, no,
and the
agreed.
center might not be doing anything wrong.
Yep.
The officials might not be doing anything wrong. But the scorekeeper awarded one to red when it was supposed to go to white. They have to stop that in that moment to correct them.
Exactly. Hey,
so
sir,
if
stop.
someone steps in and says, wait, stop, this needs to be corrected.
Yep.
Now, they actually get the point that they weren't supposed to get because you stepped in. That's not right.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, I don't like, and then even just you getting out of your chair. I mean, come on, that's just kind of crazy to me. So I never liked any of that. I'm not a big fan of that.
I saw Sam Gagnon one time. They told him he couldn't get out of his chair, so he stood up and carried his chair
in this chair.
that dude is funny.
That's funny. Honestly, though, but you and I, in some ways, have kind of even talked about, honestly, should we get rid of that? The coaches thing in general? It's kind of weird.
No. I've been the one saying
that you don't need a coach.
A coach is not as important.
Right.
However, I want someone back there.
You just said you didn't.
I didn't say that. What I said is that the coach is not as
son of a gun.
You might think that.
Some people think that about me. It's okay.
What I said was the coach is not as important. You can win without a coach. You can.
Okay. Yeah.
The person I need, the person who helps me the most, people don't even know who this person is. His name's Scott Kragel, right? I name dropped him last week too. Exactly. Nobody knows who he is because he doesn't do karate. He's never done karate. His son does karate and is very good. All right, Dominic Kragel. They were the ones who I mentioned about Patty's Pals.
Yeah,
they are Patty's Pals. Scott is a smart guy, but he understands me, so he helps me understand myself. So he says certain things like, "Don't just sit there, Alex. You have to get moving." What else would he say? He said, "Watch your spacing." Just certain things. Yeah. Just reminding me about me.
Yeah.
But if I get somebody else in there who's 100 times more accomplished, they might be speaking to me a totally different way.
That's true.
Right. So everybody just needs to know what they need. So I actually like the coach being there, but the coach's chair, no, they got to go.
Yeah. The coach's chair. Oh, man. All right. Well, yeah. No, I mean, I guess me with the coach, the problem is that when you have like a lot of kids and then you can't make it for that one, and then on the other side there's a coach, and it just causes a lot of issues within your school when you can coach one kid and you can't coach the other. But that's just things you deal with, you know. I don't know. I mean, I still go to tournaments. We still have tournaments in Virginia where there's no coaching allowed, and you'll get you can't even coach from the stands. You can only cheer, and they feel like, hey, I heard you tell him what to do. Point this way. I mean, it's crazy. It's old school like that, man. So, yeah. Now I don't really like that either. I think that you should be able to coach from wherever. Right. One thing that was always funny, and Wilburn King used to do this. So everyone would always think your coach would be behind you, right? And he'd be like, "No, I want my fighter to see me."
Yeah, I've done that.
He would go on the other end. He would go on the other end where the other fighter was, and then that way I could catch, and he'd be
Yeah,
like,
but
hey,
but the only problem is now the opponent
figures it out. And
he sees all this.
yeah.
Now you can also mess with
he
their
wouldn't
head.
hear
You
it.
can also
Yeah.
you can also play mind games. You know who the best at playing mind games as a coach is? Richard Plowden.
Well, yes,
He
of
is the
course.
best. I watched it happen, and a moment afterwards, I'm like, that was freaking genius. Troy Binns was fighting Hamid, and Hamid was about to unload a ridge hand on him. That was going to be something fierce. And Hamid has one of the best ridge hands that there's been. And I'm seeing Hamid scoot up, and it's about to explode. And Richard is very even keeled, calm, and he yells out, "Watch off that ridge hand. He's about to ridge hand." And so Hamid doesn't. Right? He doesn't, and he kind of stalls, and then Troy blitzes him. Right? And he kind of was like second guessed the ridge hand.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really talking to Troy. He was talking to Hamid.
Yeah. Hamid. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Totally changed my mind about that. That was very, very smart. I told him immediately after too. Yeah, that was good.
All right, man.
Okay. This has been a fun
stuff.
episode. This was good. We were also kind of counting down, what's going to be coming up soon.
Yes.
We have some events that are coming up soon. So this weekend. This is Pan Am's.
Pan Am's is this weekend.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to be a big deal. I can't wait to talk about this next week. We'll talk about the winners. We'll talk about what went down, what were the upsets.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, this will be good. And then a couple weeks after that, we'll be talking about the World Championships and the Diamond Nationals as well. And then right after that, we're going to unveil our lists.
We're going to get into our kicking list. So
the best tournament karate kickers of all time, form and fighting. We'll see. We've kind of chatted about it, but we've never really divulged.
Yeah.
Where anyone's lying.
I have a list down. I don't have an order yet, so we can work on that order.
I have a list that I have to go off of that I did like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
that the karate world hates me for, but I'm all right. I don't care.
They should. It's okay.
Well, all right, this has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.